actually going to be allowed to go inside the factory?" cried Grandpa Joe. "Read us what it says, quickly." "All right," says Mr. Bucket, smoothing out the newspaper. "Listen. The Evening Bulletin. I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children, just 5, mind you, and no more, to visit my factory this year. These lucky 5 will be shown around personally by me, and they will be allowed to see all of the secrets and the magic of my factory. Then, at the end of the tour, as a special present, all of them will be given enough chocolates and sweets to last them for the rest of their lives. So watch out for the golden tickets. 5 golden tickets have been printed on golden paper, and these 5 golden tickets have been hidden underneath ordinary wrapping paper of 5 ordinary bars of chocolate. These 5 chocolate bars may be anywhere, in any shop, in any street, in any town, in any country in the world, upon any counter where Wonka sweets are sold. And the 5 lucky finders of these 5 golden tickets are the only ones who will be allowed to visit my factory and see what it's like now inside. Good luck to all of you, and happy hunting. Signed, Willy Wonka." "The man's dotty," muttered Grandma Josephine. "He's brilliant," cried Grandpa Joe. "He's a magician. Just imagine what it will be like now. The whole world will be searching for those golden tickets. Everyone will be buying Wonka's chocolate bars in the hope of finding one. He'll sell more than ever before. Oh, how exciting it would be to find one. And all the chocolates and sweets that you could eat for the rest of your life for free," said Grandpa George. "Just imagine that." "They'd have to deliver them in a truck," said Grandma Georgina. "It makes me quite ill to think about it," said Grandma Josephine. "Nonsense," said Grandpa Joe. "Wouldn't it be something, Charlie, to open up a bar of chocolate and see a golden ticket glistening inside?" "It certainly would, Grandpa, but there isn't a hope," Charlie said sadly. "I only get 1 bar a year." "You never know, darling," said Grandpa Georgina. "It's your birthday next week. You have just as much chance as anybody else." "I'm afraid that simply isn't true," said Grandpa George. "The kids who are going to find the golden tickets are the ones who can afford to buy bars of chocolate every day. Our Charlie gets 1 a year. There isn't a hope." The very next day, the first golden ticket was found. The finder was a boy named Augustus Gloop, and Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a large picture of him on the front page. The picture showed a 9-year-old boy who was so enormously fat he looked as though he'd been blown up with a powerful pump. Great baggy folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough with 2 small greedy curranty eyes peering out upon the world. The town in which Augustus Gloop lived, the newspaper said, had gone wild with excitement over their hero. Flags were flying everywhere from the windows, children had been given a holiday from school, and a parade had been organized in honor of the famous youth. "I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket," his mother told the newspaperman. "He eats so many bars of chocolate a day that it was almost impossible for him not to find one. Eating is his hobby, you know. That's all he's interested in. But still, that's better than being a hooligan and shooting off zip guns and things like that in his spare time, isn't it? And what I always say is, he wouldn't go eating like he does unless he needed nourishment, would he? I mean, it's all vitamins anyway. What a thrill it would be for him to visit Mr. Wonka's marvellous factory. We're all just as proud as anything." "What a revolting woman," said Grandma Josephine. "And what a repulsive boy," said Grandma Georgina. "Only 4 golden tickets left," said Grandpa George. I wonder who'll get those. And now the whole country, indeed the whole world, seemed suddenly caught up in a mad chocolate buying spree. Everybody searching frantically for those precious remaining tickets. Full-grown women were seen going into sweet shops and buying 10 Wonka bars at a time, then tearing off the wrappers on the spot and peering eagerly beneath for a glint of golden paper. Children were taking hammers and smashing their piggy banks and running out to the shops with handfuls of money. In one city, a famous gangster robbed a bank of £1,000 and spent the whole lot on Wonka bars that same afternoon. Then when the police entered his house to arrest him, they found him sitting on the floor amidst mountains of chocolate, ripping off wrappers at the blade of a long dagger. In far-off Russia, a woman called Charlotte Rousset claimed she had found the second ticket, but it turned out to be a clever fake. The famous English scientist Professor Foulbody invented a machine that could tell you at once without opening the wrapper of a bar of chocolate whether or not there was a golden ticket hidden beneath it. The machine had a mechanical arm that shot out with tremendous force and grabbed hold of anything that had the slightest bit of gold inside of it, and for a moment it looked like it had the answer to everything. But unfortunately the professor was showing off the machine to the public at the sweet counter of a large department store when the mechanical arm shot out and made a grab for the gold filling of the back tooth of a duchess who was standing nearby. There was an ugly scene, and the machine was smashed by the crowd. Suddenly, on the day before Charlie Bucket's birthday, the newspapers announced that the second golden ticket had been found. The lucky person was a small girl named Veruca Salt, who lived with her very rich parents in a great city far away. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening paper had covered the story. There was a big picture, and she was sitting between her beaming father and mother in the living room of their house, waving the golden ticket above her head and grinning from ear to ear. Veruca's father, Mr. Salt, was eagerly explaining to the newspapermen exactly how the ticket had been found. "You see, boys," he said, "as soon as my little girl told me she simply had to have one of those golden tickets, I went out into town and started buying up all the Wonka bars I could lay my hands on. Thousands of them. I must have bought hundreds of thousands. Then I had them loaded onto trucks and sent directly into my own factory. I'm in the peanut business, you see, and I've got about 100 women working for me over at my place, shelling peanuts for roasting and salting. That's what they do all day long. Those women, they sit there shelling peanuts. So I says to them, 'Okay, girls,' I says, 'from now on you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers of these chocolate bars instead.' And they did. I had every worker in the place yanking the paper off those bars of chocolate full speed ahead from morning till night. But 3 days went by and we had no luck. Oh, it was terrible. My little Veruca got more and more upset every day, and every time I went home she would scream at me, 'Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket.' And she would lie for hours on the floor kicking and yelling in the most disturbing way. Well, I just hated to see my little girl feeling unhappy like that, so I vowed I would keep up the search until I got her what she wanted. Then suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of my women workers yelled, 'I've got it, a golden ticket.' And I said, 'Give it to me quick.' And she did. I rushed it home and gave it to my darling Veruca, and now she's all smiles and we have a happy home once again." "That's even worse than the fat boy," said Grandma Josephine. "She needs a very good spanking," said Grandma Georgina. "I don't think the girl's father played it quite fair, Grandpa, do you?" Charlie murmured. "He spoils her," Grandpa Joe said, "and no good can ever come from spoiling a child like that. Charlie, you mark my words." come to bed, my darling, said Charlie's mother. Tomorrow is your birthday, don't forget that. So I expect you'll be up early to open your present. A Wonka chocolate bar, cried Charlie. It is a Wonka bar, isn't it? Yes, my love, his mother said. Of course it is. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I found the third golden ticket inside it, Charlie said. Bring it in here when you get it, Grandpa Joe said. Then we can all watch you taking off the wrapper.